Welcome back to the NHIGH-cast, episode 4, y'all! Oh wait, I think it's actually episode 3, so... Wait, isn't it study type?
Is it 4 or 3?
I think it's episode 3. Which we'll find that out later, and you'll probably know by now, if you have actually watched this. Yeah, we'll see.
I know there were like some live streams, but I don't really remember which ones of them, were in this podcast, and which ones were not.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Well, either way, if you guys are here to kind of learn a bit about what we're going to be doing, how we sort of worked on these sort of forwards, backwards, and sort of congratulations, you found the secret message thing. It's going to be a little later on. We'll be starting off a bit more, doing some sort of a personal sort of small talk at the beginning, and then you should be getting the thing that you're actually here for later on. If you want, you can go ahead and find that, though. We might have some kind of things below in the description you can click on. Also some videos that we might be linking to later on, kind of in the description and the comments, too.
Okay, we also want to talk about the closed captions while we're here, but that might not be right away.
Oh, you can do it.
I can?
Yeah,
I can?
Yeah.
Okay, then I will do that. Okay, this is just to let everyone know. So we were planning on trying to do closed captions on all our videos, English closed captions, but we are having trouble. We think we're gonna have. What I'm trying to say is, for the long ones, we think it might be a little too hard to do because we tried to do it for our last podcast, and it was just like an impossible task. We didn't really get it done.
Right.
So we don't think we're going to be able to do our English closed captions whenever it's just the two of us right now. For the very long videos, but for the shorter ones, it should still be there. And for our short, our sideways videos, this way, those should be having closed captions on them too.
Yeah.
That we will be writing in there. So yeah.
All right.
Anyway, that was a little update.
Yeah. It's okay. Time to get into the small talk section. So today I was thinking we could talk a little bit about some differences between Isaac and I, because obviously you look at us and we're the same person.
So I didn't shave today and you did.
That's so different.
That's pretty different.
It's amazing how different that is. Oh. Oh.
And that's
permanent.
It's almost always exactly. I can never change that because we are so committed to me being the one with the beard and him being the one without the beard.
Yeah.
And it works out fine because, I more often find myself not having time to really think about doing that, so it probably works fine. Works out fine that I'm the one doing that.
Yeah, if you ever see one of us with a beard in the show and one of these things we make, it's Isaac, not Julian. If it's two of them, then it's Isaac using a time machine.
That's right.
Adam and Simmons sponsored time machine. Not sponsored by Adam and Simmons today.
Not today.
Not today.
Not today, at least.
Yeah.
Not like last time.
Yeah. But something that kind of inspired me to kind of want to talk about some differences is kind of recently we've been doing some research, right, to try and kind of find out if PayPal or Stripe would be better for us or some kind of a service like that. Something Patreon-esque. But kind of really the point is that we've been doing some research, and I feel like sometimes when we're doing research, Isaac will kind of go through something, and I'll be like, okay, this point doesn't really need to be read up upon, and Isaac will be kind of going through things that I'll already be done with it. Almost like I skim through it, and I'm kind of skipping over things that I feel are unnecessary, and Isaac's just kind of reading these words, and I'm like, okay, I'll just wait. Although sometimes I do sort of read through things and skim through things and have to go back again, and I don't know, for me it kind of feels a bit man, it's so unnecessary. I feel like Isaac often does things that I feel are unnecessary, but the problem is that sometimes, actually, when he does that, he actually finds things that actually help. I don't know. It's just, I think, that, my kind of worrying, I have, this worry sort of deep down about, trying to not waste time, especially whenever I have, a goal in mind. I'm like, okay, we need to learn this one thing, and Isaac's kind of all right. And I kind of have this one word, I kind of feel like we have the idea for context clues, we kind of have an idea of what it means, and we don't really need to do it. But Isaac would go into a deep dive of research, and I'd be like, well, we kind of already knew what that was anyways, Felt like we're kind of wasting some time. I feel like if Isaac were to teach someone a lesson, he'd kind of all right, so if someone wants to learn 1 plus 1 is 2, right? I'd be like, all right, 1, 2. And Isaac would be like, all right, what is one really? It's a human social construction to represent a number, so it's not really real, but it's kind of real, and it's meant to be kind of like one, but it's not perfect, but it's kind of enough you know, we kind of have the best we can do with it, you know. A lot of people use it, but it's a really representative thing. And then before going into that, he'd be like, all right, but why are ones kind of called ones? Like, when did the language even get kind of discovered in the first place, you know? He'd kind of like do a deep dive, and I'd be like, well, but we were just trying to learn what 1 + 1 was, you know?
Well, I mean, I sometimes get kind of obsessive about things that are kind of like tangential, but also I have like, I guess like sometimes like there are like a lot of things I'm thinking about, and then I might think of something that makes me think about, oh, that might relate to this thing I was working on, or you know, it might be relevant to this, or just because, you know, I feel like if I have more information, I have more things to consider, I guess, about what's going on. I have to like think about things.
Yeah. And like the problem for me is that sometimes it's actually better to do that, and sometimes it isn't.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just like deep down a feeling of like, man, we're wasting time. We're wasting time. We're wasting time. And I'm just kind of like trying to.
Sometimes we really are just wasting time.
Sometimes the problem is we are sometimes wasting time, and sometimes we are not. So it's just kind of like this deep kind of. I don't know. The thing is, like, I have mixed feelings because I want to try to be more patient as part of it, but sometimes we are wasting time. So it's kind of like, we're at the right balance for that, you know?
Yeah. Well, I'm not necessarily always like super patient, but I guess, I mean, generally speaking, maybe there's something like that going on. But I don't know if it's like always the case necessarily. Yeah. That I'm like super patient or whatever, and that you're just kind of like a little more anxious.
Yeah.
But I guess generally speaking, that might be more or less kind of right.
Yeah, it probably like depends on like kind of what it is to a certain extent. I remember like
probably why you also which is also probably why you like shave your beard off too often. You're so anxious about it being on there.
Yeah.
And you're just like, I gotta do something. I gotta be doing something. Do it now. Do it now. Do it now. Do it now.
It being there just makes everything more difficult. Get rid of it. Don't ever have a beard.
Right.
Beards are like a waste of time to have. The shaving is not a waste of time.
No, it's necessary.
It's ingrained in my whole being.
Well, that's something you like.
Yeah.
That's something you find value in. You're not like, I'm not, you don't feel like, oh no, I can't believe I'm doing this again. It's like, because you can go like, well, I have to do it or else I'm going to be an ugly person with a beard like Isaac.
That's right. We all know it's true, obviously, though. I mean, I let Isaac do his thing, but really, I shouldn't, right? Vote below to tell me if I should finally do it. Commit to the bit and make Isaac shave, regardless if he wants to or not.
Well, if I shave, then I'm not me anymore. I'm you. It's the problem.
Isn't that better? That would make everything so much better. Because if he was me now, then he would worry about the same things that I worry about, and then everything would be better for me. It'd actually be a better world.
It would be a lot easier working with people with each other.
Yeah.
Because we don't always agree all the time. You know, even though some people think we are the same person.
Yeah.
With same ideas and thoughts and stuff.
Yeah.
And same faces.
Yeah. Well, wait,
same pairs of shoes.
Same mind palace.
Same mind palace.
We look the same.
Talk the same.
Act the same.
React the same. I was gonna think of a thing that rhymed, but I just said the same thing basically again.
Yeah, the problem with that is we sometimes do react the same.
And act the same.
Yeah.
It kind of rhymes.
Yeah.
But also kind of, it's kind of a little too similar for what I was hoping to try to do, but I couldn't really think of something in the moment so fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. It's true. It's truth. The truth.
Yeah. And I feel like in ways it kind of feels like Isaac kind of slower than me, but maybe a little more kind of fastidious and detail oriented in some ways. But again, it kind of like depends on what it is. Maybe more of the goal oriented aspect of it, because I read books much faster than Isaac will. Especially like back in the day, like in like middle school and such, I would like read a lot of books, and so would Isaac. But I would just kind of read, I think, generally a little faster than he would.
I probably also read less because I was so slow.
That's right. But I think some part of that is just me kind of being like, all right, what information here is not necessary.
Well, not like when I say less, I just mean like less books.
Yeah. I would like read and skim through things, I think.
I probably would have taken time, but I probably wouldn't have been reading as much content. I guess.
Yeah.
I think it's probably right, if I'm right.
I feel like my mind would just kind of like fill in like the gaps and be like, okay, this is kind of like the right idea, and like, oh, they're going there and then and they're doing this thing, right? Cool. Yeah. Sometimes I'd be like, oh, I missed entirely what the point of this whole page was. Let's start over again. After doing that a couple of times, I'd be like, cool, it's worth my time, and
yeah.
good.
I also had problems like that where I was like reading things. I remember like reading things and like especially like textbooks and stuff, but sometimes also other things like that were more interesting, like fantasy books and stuff, where you would like I'd read something and then I'd be like, oh no, I missed the information. I gotta read it again. Oh no, I was up there and now I'm all the way down here. I don't know what happened. Oh no,
I was looking at it and I was reading it and the words happened, but I didn't absorb any of the information. Oh no,
I gotta go and do it again.
No. Anything but that is so embarrassing. Man,
I can't believe I gotta read it again. No.
Now the voice inside my head's gonna like critique me and be like, "Oh, you should have done that right the first time." But
yeah, I think that's something that you'll probably resonate with.
a little bit. Maybe just a wee bit.
A little bit. Just a little bit of small talk.
This is a little bit of funniness.
Small talk.
Ooh, wow, some smell.
Stop it. Stop. Don't do that. Stop. Stop being weird. Why are you being so strange right now? Can you just be like a normal human person? He can't even do it. He can't say anything without being a not normal human person.
I thought we were by this.
I thought we were past this already.
Yep. But then you bring it back up, and then you even doing the thing. Now you're acting like I'm the weirdo. Yeah.
Well, I'm not the antichrist. I'm a real human person with a beard.
Well, I mean, the Antichrist could have a beard.
Kind of a little bit of a beard.
I think the Antichrist probably does have a beard.
I don't think so.
I think it's necessarily true.
No, it's not necessarily true. In fact, it's necessarily the opposite.
But the Antichrist like skip information, would he like read it deliberately and fastidiously with obsession?
The Antichrist would be all like, "Oh no, gotta shave my face."
And what did you do?
Because of the Bible verses, they say that. You know, the ones.
I know the ones. But because you want to tell me what they are?
Yeah.
So we know what you're doing?
I will tell you. They're in the chapters of like the book called Fastidious. Yep. Which I feel like I know that word, but I don't entirely remember what it means. I know you just use it to describe me. But that's not because it's me. It's because it's not me.
It's actually in Genesis 3.
That's not
God
right.
said to the Antichrist,
That's not right.
"Though may you be held and shave your face forevermore." Amen.
Amen.
Darn tootin'. You know?
You're trying to make it seem like we're all nice and chummy, but I know what's really going on here.
What is it?
I know that you've got some sort of Antichrist kind of plot going on. I know you're trying to distill my soul. We gotta leave now.
No.
For my own safety.
You're contractually obligated to stay. Get back here. Get back. Get back, Isaac.
Okay, he's right. I have to do it for my contract.
Okay. His contract. Legally obligated.
I signed it.
Yeah. And blood. That's right.
Now I gotta follow it.
We're gonna do podcasts for 3 more years. Every day.
Well, that's what I get for signing it.
That's what you get.
That's what I get.
You just always read your contracts, everyone. Always read it.
Always read them.
Always read it.
Always read them.
Yeah.
That was one of those moments when I was like Julian, and I was just like, you know what? I don't want to read it. I'm fine. I think it's probably okay.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to take the time to.
And that was your first mistake.
And that was my first mistake.
And your last mistake.
And my last one.
The last one you ever made.
It's the only mistake I've ever made, and it was the worst one of my whole life.
Yeah. It's the only one you need, really.
Yeah. When we only had that one, then you don't really need to make any more mistakes in your life.
When you make big mistakes like these, you make other mistakes.
That's right. Nope, this mistake is big enough for them all.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think we've done a small talk?
Small talk achieved.
Is it big enough talk?
We will.
We will.
Beep beep woo woo. Okay, so I think we're going to talk a little bit about.
Now that the small talk is ended, we've done our small talk ending ritual. It's time for us to do small talk. I mean, not small talk. It's time for us to do.
But everyone came here for maybe.
Yeah. Time to get to business.
Yeah, get to
Things
business.
are no longer fun now.
It's all about business.
It's all about business.
We're all about business here at the NHIGH-cast.
Yes. Which is why I had to come back here for my contract.
That's right.
I'm very about business.
We are not an anti-Satan community. We are not pro-Satan either. So we are allowing demons and humans to collab forever at the NHIGH-cast podcast website.
That website.
Company. In affiliation with Adam and Siemens.
Adam and Siemens. That website.
Slash. EFOGeekDope.com.
Do you want to say that again? Do you want to say that again?
Slash EFOPeople.com. Slash.
Yeah, that's where you can find us. Online.
No, there's 2 slashes. Anyways.
Yeah.
Now it's time to
Get to business.
the business.
Time to talk about
Time to get serious.
the business.
Time to get serious. We're going to be very serious today, and we're going to talk about how serious our video processes are.
We're taking so long to get to the business that all the joins left.
I'm very serious. Julian is very serious.
Yeah.
We're sitting tight every day, and I, you call into the office. I drive in there and I say, hey, what's going on? What's going on? And they say, business. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm in the right place.
I'm like, oh yeah, that's why I'm there. For the business.
For the business. And business.
No wonder you're not getting hired or getting higher up or getting any raises or anything. Whenever every day you go in there to ask them what you do for your job, and they're always like, business. So you're like, all right, I forgot.
They are actually appreciating of that kind of stuff.
Oh, they do?
They really do.
Oh, that sounds really nice.
Yeah.
It sounds like
I got a raise.
It sounds like you actually might have some pretty cool bosses.
I got a raise to the CEO.
You're CEO?
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing, actually.
Yeah, that's right.
I can't believe that you would be the CEO.
Mm-hmm.
You doesn't seem like you can handle that.
Well, I am the ex-CEO now, but I was for a minute.
Like 1 minute exactly?
Yeah, 1 minute.
1 day?
Yeah, just now.
Just now.
Just happened. I got fired because of sitting time on the podcast, like not doing anything to run the company.
It's taking so long to get to the business, they fired you.
Yeah. I didn't even get a call.
Not a good CEO.
I just knew it. I'm fired. I'm just ashamed. I did it anyways.
Wait, if you're the CEO, how are you like not the person who is in charge of firing?
It's a public.
Don't you have the power to fire them back?
No, it's public. I got got by the stockholders. Yeah. I think that's how it works, maybe.
Well, I don't know. Maybe it's a good thing you're no longer the CEO because now you have more time to get into this podcast.
I mean, but what about the $1 million a day contract, Isaac?
Well, you know,
I can't make any money.
my contract's not $1 million, but it's the only contract I have.
In
fact, I don't make any money with my contract.
Well, I'm losing money.
I am kind of as well.
I'm losing money with my contract.
So what we're doing here right now is losing us all money.
That's right. We're doing this at a loss.
Yeah.
Unironically. Well, I may have some value in it. Monetary, maybe not. We'll see. Yeah. Someday, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
You guys can tell us, more than, you guys might know more than we do now in the past. No, how would that make sense?
In the future?
You guys just tell me in the future about tell Pastor Julian about what happened.
Tell Pastor Julian about what happened in the future.
Yep.
Okay, that's what I'm asking you guys with that. Okay?
Whenever you get the time machine, just do that.
Just do that. I believe in you, right? You can do it. If they got it, it happened now, right? Or that would be right away? I guess they could do it at a different time. You would think it would have already happened. Maybe that's why you got fired. Because those damn time machine people have it out for me for some reason.
That's
what happened.
A time and space machine.
Time and space. Okay, well, that's technically right, yeah. Sorry. It's always time and space. Space-time. Yeah.
Space time machine.
Anyways.
Time and space.
Space and time. In your space-time machine, you can watch our show. Sorry, wait.
When you arrive at the business.
When you arrive at the business. And business they just watch NHIGH-cast all day long. And also, they watch how this video is the same forwards and backwards on repeat.
That's right.
Because it is the same forwards and backwards, and they can do that.
And they also look at secret message videos that I only can remember the secret name of that one, and that's called "Congratulations, you found the secret message." And the first one I think was "What's the secret message?"
Yeah,
or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
What is the secret message?
Something like that.
I think it was.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But anyway, that's actually the business now. We finally have arrived at business.
Yep.
Welcome to Business Talk.
Yeah.
At the NHIGH-cast. Website.
Getting down to business.
That website / business.
Our business. Link to Reddit, to our business at Reddit. Is where we operate from.
That's probably an actual place.
It could be. Probably is. I wouldn't be too surprised.
Yeah.
Don't come for us, our business.
Don't come for us, our business.
We didn't ask for this.
You know what you did, our business. You know what you did to ask for this.
Yeah, but this isn't our fault.
Our fault. This is our business's fault.
This is our, yeah.
I read it.
That's right.
This is Reddit's
We
fault.
went to business and they didn't like us, so they know what they did. They fired me, and that was the worst mistake they ever made. Our business, which is the same thing as business.
And it's also the same thing as busyness.
Yeah,
Then
that's right. They know what they did.
So, speaking of the busyness, finally, I think maybe I don't know. We keep seeming like we're arriving, but then it doesn't happen. So we're here today to talk about some of our videos and how we kind of made them kind of happen.
Yeah.
We actually had one video out already about how we made that first one, which was this video is the same forwards and backwards. I think it was.
Yeah.
Actually, I think it was just forward and backward.
Mm-hmm.
This video is the same forward and backward.
We will link it down below.
Yeah.
In the description and the comments, it'll be the first one.
We're gonna be linking the. It's gonna be the. When you say that, do you mean the video or the explanation video?
I'm talking about the explanation video right now.
So the explanation video is gonna be the first one linked.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have an explanation video for the first video.
Yeah.
Before they can see the first video.
Yeah. Well, we'll have them all linked in the description.
We're gonna have all these videos linked down below.
Yeah, I'm just saying that this is the first one because we're talking about it first.
Oh, I thought you were like saying they were gonna be in that order linked. Oh, I mean, I guess you were saying that, but only because we were talking about it first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But would it make sense to talk about that one first, or like, we're just talking about the ones that came out in the order, or should we? I guess we could just sort of talk about maybe some of the history first of all, because we're kind of like the general idea behind these things were more like less that we were. I guess the thing that kind of connects them all is that there's an element of like having like sort of forwards, some sort of video thing with like forwards and reversing.
Yeah.
Of like text.
Mm-hmm.
To make it seem like one thing one way and then seem like another thing the other way.
Yeah.
It's kind of the general idea behind all these concepts.
Right.
And I think we were kind of partly inspired by like things we've seen over the years actually. And or heard about in some things.
Like most people are.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I guess we were like, I think at some point we had, I don't really remember. I think the first time I thought about this kind of thing was whenever I think I'd read about that Pink Floyd song we were going to be talking about today.
Yeah, that's right.
Which is something that I think I'd read about, and I was like, oh, that's interesting that they did that. Because I don't think I'd noticed it by like hearing it or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think I'd read it at one point.
The Pink Floyd song is, I totally remember it. Yeah, this is me not looking it up, this is me remembering it. Okay, in the Pink Floyd song, damn. Empty spaces.
Empty spaces?
Empty spaces.
Empty spaces. Oh,
Has
wait,
a
oh.
passage.
At first I thought I didn't. Okay, now I know what that is actually.
Yeah.
Because like that's the one from the wall.
Yeah.
Okay, I see now.
Yeah,
it has like
this
a backwards
is
message in it.
Not singing, this is just like a backing track. It kind of like sounds like backwards talking.
Yeah.
And what they say is, congratulations. You've just discovered the secret message.
Right.
Please send your answer to Old Pink, care of Funny Farm. Javant.
Javant. Is that like French?
CHALFONT.
Javant.
Javant.
I don't know what's happening.
Javant.
Huh? Oh, Che. Oh, CH. Chafont.
I don't really know if you guys can actually do that.
CHALFONTE. No E. Sorry. But I think that was kind of maybe the first thoughts about that, and then we were like, I think we also had seen something where like I think we'd heard about. I don't really remember if we heard this first or if we actually did. We even know about the Twin Peaks thing before we. Well, like, when did we find out about that?
Actually,
did that happen later?
The Twin Peaks thing actually happened after we posted our first video and Reddit.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think we actually no. Well, no. We did see the first video because we knew about the Twin Peaks thing before we made this video forward and backwards, right? Or this video is forward and backward, but we didn't know about. I don't think we knew about the Twin Peaks reverse speech until like after we made those first shorts that we made that were forward and backward. Do you know what I mean?
I thought we learned it after posting the main video to Reddit and someone being like, "Oh, this kind of reminds me of Twin Peaks, right?"
I thought we already knew about that at that point though, because we looked it up and we were like looking that up as part of the inspiration for the first video we were doing. We're talking about this video is the same forward and backward, because before that we actually did do some shorts that we had where we did something where we had like some words that were forwards and reverse sounding different things, but I think we actually did that just because I think I'd been heard about the Pink Floyd thing, if I remember right.
Okay, sure.
I think we may have heard about Twin Peaks at that point, as far as like they have the reverse speech, but I don't think we actually knew that until we were like getting into like to the weeds of like preparing for our bigger video with that concept. Because we actually did kind of like I was saying before, and I guess these could also maybe be linked below. Would it be? You think?
What?
Our shorts that we did this with?
We can do that. Yeah.
Because we also had some shorts that we did. We actually started. The first thing we did with this was I think a video called "My Friend Is a Freak" or something like that, who could speak forward and backward. I can't remember exactly what the word was. Who speaks in reverse or something. But the idea was we'll have a link below.
Yeah.
And the idea was that it was a video where I was just gonna say something, and Julian was like saying something like, "What does that mean, Isaac?" And then I said like, I think what I said was I was trying to get something that seemed like it could be kind of relevant to like the thing, because we were trying to like it's part of the thing where we were doing kind of like loops for like a theme of like loop shorts, because there's like this like looping function that shorts could kind of do.
Yeah.
If we have them in our for some reason, if you don't see them in like the shorts thing, it kind of doesn't really seem to work necessarily, but if you look at our shorts thing, our shorts tab, and then you go there, it's probably fine. But if you see them in a playlist, they might not loop like they should, I guess I'm trying to say. But you can also set them up to loop like a normal video, I think. If you get something where it looks more like a normal video instead of a short YouTube short. But I was back to this video thing where Julian was like, what does that mean, Isaac? And I was basically going like, I think what it was I said masked server, and then whenever it went backwards, it was reverse time.
Yeah.
And then Julian was like, Adacito something Adacito, Isaac, and I was like, reverse time. So it was kind of funny because I was trying to find a way to like do it where I could have something to do with like the reverse aspect of the thing, which is why that was what it was.
Yeah.
And we decided to do something like that also for another short we did for like, I think around the time of Halloween or something.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be like a spooky, scary one. I think it's called "When the House Party Vibes Are Spooky, Scary."
Yeah.
And I think we were.
That's right.
The words were. I think,
Madam.
Yeah, Julian was being like a butler kind of character.
Yes.
And I was like this other house party person.
Yeah.
And actually, we dressed up pretty similarly to the way we did in our other video.
Right.
Because Julian had his tux on, I think, right? Did you?
I did, yes.
I had
the beard this time.
I had the jacket on.
I mean, I didn't have a beard. Isaac was in the video. It was not me.
There's two me's.
There's two Isaacs in this video. Never mind.
One me dressed up in a tuxedo.
Yep.
Was off to the right, and then the other me was like.
Yep.
I think Julian was like having some sort of like he was like offering me drinks.
Yeah.
As a butler, and I was being like this house party guest, and he was like, "Madame," and then I said, "I think what it was circus time massacres."
Yeah. That's right.
And then it reversed to being like me saying circus time massacres and him saying "Madame" and running away.
Yeah.
It's basically what kind of ended up being.
Yeah.
He was showing up and going, "Madame, circus time massacres, circus time massacres."
Yeah.
Oh, Madame.
Hey,
run away.
Yeah.
That's kind of the idea. And then also in that one, I actually think Julian made some music that was also palindromic.
That's right, yeah. But it's kind of like hard to tell,
Right.
We generally using like a finale 20.
What year was that?
17? I don't really know. But it's like an older version of finale.
Yeah.
Yeah. with like a little bit of harpsichord-esque sounding.
Yeah.
You might not have trouble hearing it, but also if you're like listening to it, you might also kind of just if you listen closely, you might hear it.
Yeah, I think if I'm not mistaken, it's like kind of done. The reverse sounding of it is done in a traditional way, in the sense that it's not going to be like literally like sound like whoa.
Yeah.
Or like it's just kind of like certain rhythms are done.
Yeah.
And melodies are done in kind of in reverse, and then you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like the reverse way it would look if you wrote like in the music instead of necessarily just kind of being like.
Yeah.
Because if you literally just reverse like a sound, like you know someone playing a piano piece or something, and then you reverse it. It sounds like something kind of different than just like a normal kind of like note sounding. It sounds like a kind of like almost like a crescendo swell thing going on.
Yeah.
And as well as like other things, but that might turn into the instrument. But like talking about piano specifically, I guess, because it's kind of like the reverse of the sound. So it's like different. It has like the envelope of the information, but you know in the reverse shape. So it's more like wow, not like bow, bam. You know,
Wow.
You're talking about piano specifically, I guess. Isaac from the future here. First of all, we've been reading your comments with the unboxing, and to say the very least, we're very disappointed. Actually, I'm supposed to be doing something else here. I'm here to right the wrongs of the past. So first of all, the dumb Isaac, who was one of the members of this podcast here, said something wrong when he said that the video, which was the house party vibes, was spooky scary. I think. Wrong! It's not the house party spooky scary. It's when the house party vibes are spooky scary. Yeah! That the video, that the music in it was only done in like a reverse fashion with like the notes, but it was literally reversed as well as the other thing he was talking about. So technically it was reversed in two ways. And the other thing, and then, so yeah, so we did those. And actually I remember having a lot of trouble at first with some things we were doing because I was like I think we were like trying all kinds of phrases.
Yeah, that's right. We did a lot
of those earlier ones. There was all this, like, we were doing a lot of like tests, and a lot of our tests where we thought things should work out a certain way didn't really work out the way we thought they should.
Yeah.
Because it ended up being like masked server was first time. And I was thinking it would be like, server, but then like, I think time would be like might, or like that. Masked for some reason worked better.
Yeah.
But actually, is it interesting because I think we actually like did find some information online about like something where like master of time was something that could be like, or sort of like a phonetic palindrome where the thing is in reverse. It sounds the same way forwards and backwards.
Yeah.
But that was something we found out actually about later when we were getting ready for our other video. And that ended up kind of being a part of like something. Well, it kind of reminded me of how masked became time.
Yeah.
In this case. Master.
Right.
Masked time. And like it's the same kind of way, which is kind of weird.
Right.
Because it seems like it should be something like might.
Right.
But it might depend on how like you say it. Maybe you could, like, if you're someone else wants to try this out, you could try warping your words or something. But for some reason, that kind of seemed to work for us. And maybe other people as well, based on the fact that we found something like that. But it's kind of like, that's what, I guess whenever we were looking this up later, we were like using it to kind of make up like dialogue because we were having some trouble. Because we were like, you know, the first time we were doing this, we spent so much time just experimenting with stuff. We still did that, but we were like trying to see what other people had already done.
Yeah.
So that we can kind of like base some of it off of that.
Right.
To see what might work or might not work. Because sometimes we would try things that people would do and then it wouldn't work.
I looked at something like, I think there's some stuff kind of like reverse speech, right?
Yeah.
I looked up a lot of words that people kind of use in reverse speech, right? But there was no phonetic versions of that I saw anyone doing, and I had kind of like built up initially, we kind of like came up with this initial story that was something about Deb in bed, you know, and then there'd be like a bad pot or something. No, top pot. And it'd be like dad pot, bad, no, it'd be dad pot, stop bad. Something like that. But it didn't actually end up working the way I wanted it to.
Right, yeah.
It didn't work the way that it said that it would work, like in the article. You know, sometimes you gotta try things out and be like, okay, that didn't work. Right. Basically, we had to build up the story around whatever would work, word-wise. Right.
And sometimes we would do things that seemed like they should work, but then whenever we would do it, it would be like maybe not the best. But then we would find like takes that were kind of like a little bit closer.
Yeah, that's right.
Because sometimes they weren't as close. Sometimes they were because sometimes it might have more to do with like the performance than the kind of like words themselves, I guess.
Right.
So sometimes you kind of have to like finagle that and try to figure that out.
Right.
Actually, I was going to say something else also, is that I think I think I remember. I don't think this was. I think I saw this one after we did the first shorts, and we were kind of preparing for the. I actually think it was sometime in between those shorts and this video where we did the longer form one with this video is the same forward and backwards. At some point, I think I remember. I think I heard about something on an episode of Tractable, where they're talking about a mark. Actually, it might have been 3 Beans in a Pod or something. I can't really remember, but they're talking about Jack Black having a video, where he was like doing like a green screen thing.
Yeah,
and he's like doing like a fake let's play.
Yeah, that's right.
And then I went to go look at it, and then I didn't actually know this because they didn't talk about this at the time. But then I went and saw it, and of course, I thought the green screen thing was funny because he was like pretending to be like a let's player, and it turned out he was like oh no, everything is fake. My Delgado is bad or something. I'm lying about my let's play.
Yeah,
pretty good. It was like a whole bit. But then sometime kind of randomly in the middle, he jumps in a pool. Right before he does that, he says "say yes," and then he comes out of the hole in reverse. Whenever the video reverses, and then he says "say yes" again. Yeah, which is kind of like that was another one of those things where it's kind of like, well, it seems like it might be better to do something else, but "say yes" seems to kind of work. Yeah, and that actually did find its way into our thing as well. Yeah, but I think that's something that other people will probably be using as well. Yeah, I don't know if Jack Black, I don't know where Jack Black got it from. He just kind of did it. I feel like, or if he read it somewhere, sure, or still someone saying it. Anyway,
I feel like "say yes" is kind of remarkably consistent.
Yeah, weirdly enough.
Yeah,
even though it sounds whenever you say something forwards and backwards, sometimes, and it sounds like it's backwards, sometimes kind of like, it sounds like your dialect or your accent might change a little. Yeah. So, like the way you sort of say the sounds could get a little bit warped sometimes. But they sound like, I think for our hearing, or for us, they kind of sound close enough. Yeah.
So it's all going to kind of like depend on sort of how you speak, really. Kind of what kind of phonemes you want to do, if you want to do something like this, Yeah. We, did some research also kind of with going into YouTube and actually finding a lot of people who actually have recordings of these things, because we didn't want to just like find things online and be like, all right, we have to test out every single word set, right? So instead we were like trying to find just people who had it online, who had already recorded it, and we were kind of like, well, that sounds a bit how we would say it, and kind of trying to make it work.
There was this channel we found. I think you remember what it was called because I was going to shout them out, but I can't really remember now. Yeah. They had a whole channel about like phonetic palindromes. Yeah. Or reversals or something.
There was.
I'm trying to kind of remember.
Man, who were they?
I just like look up phonetic reversals or phonetic palindromes. Maybe I should do that and like find it that way.
Something like that.
Oh, is that right?
The Reverse Show.
Oh.
The Reverse Show.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of
Adam Reversed? Spelled ADDAMREVERSED. Adam Reversed. And he had a thing called the Reverse. It's called, it's not called the, but it's called Reverse Show. Actually, it does say, it says the Reverse Show there, but in the sign up there, it says Reverse Show, which is why I was a little confused. Yeah. But it's called the Reverse Show, actually, I'm sorry. And so if you guys want to go check something out like that, he's got some stuff that was part of the inspiration. And we also, of course, there were some other things as well. But that was like, I would say of all the particular sites we saw, I think that he was the one person who had like more stuff. That was kind of helpful for us to kind of get along the way. Yeah. That we did get a lot of information from other places as well. He currently only has like 106 subscribers and 3 videos.
Well, whenever you're making like reverse phonemes, like your whole thing, it's kind of difficult to really do. Like, I feel like in a way we kind of like maximize everything we could do so far. Yeah. To a certain extent. Yeah. I mean, we can keep on kind of doing other things, but as far as like reverse palindrome specifically, it's kind of difficult to find things that are super consistent and. You can keep using the same ones over and over again. After all, we did that in our skit, so we wanted to make them kind of different every time. But so I feel like Isaac has kind of been the guy who's like more kind of like
what? Isaac's got the preferential treatment.
Isaac will come to me and be like, "Ooh, this is like something that can be like the same forwards and backwards, right?" I feel like he kind of been the guy who like starts pushing the sort of phoneme kind of reversal type thing a little more than I have, I would say. But in the second one, I did get a chance to experiment a little bit with the word madam and stuff, Yeah. But and that's been kind of cool and all. But as far as like this one goes, it kind of was inspired like the video that we were going to start off with, I guess. Talking about like the structure of it is how this video is the same forwards and backwards.
Right, but I think we should also say that the kind of idea that there's going to be a whole video and it's just going to be the same forwards and backwards, and that's going to be a cyclical kind of story idea was Julian's idea. Yeah, I kind of wanted to say that.
I guess I was trying to sort of bring it up.
Because I was thinking like whenever we did the shorts that we could just like there's potential for an interesting long form video, which is what I thinking was. I hadn't really beyond that thought much more about like how we should do it.
Yeah,
I just thought there could be potential for something.
We did talk about that, about kind of like maybe making something that's kind of like longer form of that.
Yeah,
and it kind of just occurred to me. Well, part of the reason I guess kind of why is we were like, all right, shorts, we are done with shorts for a little bit. Take some time to really try and delve into some deeper kind of concept stuff, right? And then I was like, all right, well, what kind of stuff do we want to do? And it was kind of like thinking to myself, well, if we're doing a phoneme reversal thing, right, what does that even mean? How do you actually get the function right? And I was kind of like filling it out and being in my head and being like, oh, the way that you would get it to work is a cyclical thing where every single time that you use a word, and you have to be able to come back to it later on and have it mean something different, but it could still be there and would also be the same, right? Like... So we kind of like theorize it as like this kind of arc, right? Mm-hmm. Which we have a chart.
We have a chart, yeah.
If you look at the first video, linked in the description in the comments, it'll be in there. The chart. It's kind of a chart.
It's a chart that explains kind of the story structure.
Yeah,
more or less, and how how that's kind of based around the idea of how we were using these words, because the script is based on these words, so we had to think about what the words were, and make sure the words kind of work this way, that we could reverse things that we wanted to, and and then make different meanings whenever we want to.
Yeah,
because sometimes we had words that had different meanings whenever it was reversed, and sometimes we had the same meaning, right? Depending on the words being said. Mm-hmm. So we were like trying to plan out the story around that thing and try to make something that would make sense both ways, forwards and reverse.
Mm-hmm. So we like
sorry.
So we really like the idea of having like "Sorry Ross" kind of being the opening, and also the ending. But like we're kind of thinking to ourselves, okay, how do we have Isaac say something like "Sorry Ross" and have the meaning kind of change over time, right? And so we're kind of thinking to ourselves, all right, structurally at some point we kind of have to leave the room, and this has to be the starting of something, but also has to be the ending. It also has to kind of like be the emotional resolution as well,
right?
And we had like the form from some other concept we had before, in which we had like us going to the kitchen after out of the restroom. Sorry, going. Okay, I'm gonna slow it down a bit, guys. I am going to slow it down. After we left the bat. I was going to say it again.
Your ears and mouth are real good.
After we left the bedroom, initially, we were going to go and get a pot. And I think I said that before.
Yeah, top pot.
But like the idea was sort of that we kind of have this moment where someone would say a word, and then someone would like dab the pot. It'd be kind of like dab pot, and then it'd be like stop bad. Would be kind of after that. It's like okay.
We also were thinking about having like cook.
It'd be like okay.
Cook could be a reversal word that means the same thing both ways.
Yeah. But strangely enough, cook did not work as well as it should have. But I feel like after we've done all this finagling and stuff, maybe we could have done it with a little more effort.
Yeah.
But after kind of abandoning it and just kind of like working on like Bob and Dude and such, you know.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Be able to get to the point of making that work.
Right.
Yeah. But in this one, we decided to kind of have the Sorry Ross sort of function kind of be a thing where Ross and Maya are kind of going at each other.
Right.
Yeah.
Ross and Maya.
Getting a little more angry at each other throughout.
And the reason why our characters are named that is because they would work in palindromes.
That's right. I am Maya.
Like it's phonetic palindromes, rather.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ross.
Yeah, that's right.
And then I am Maya.
Yeah.
I am Maya.
That's right. But I also called Maya Bob because we could do that.
Well, that's right. That's right. Because that was the thing we had. We were like, well, that could be something that could be a story point.
Yeah.
We're like, well, Bob's something that needs to be said sometimes, so we could say, like, one of these characters could be like just calling someone the wrong name, and they get really mad about it, and then they run away.
So every time we say Bob, we say it a little differently to try and evoke that a bit. Bob, 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 Bob. Say yes, Bob.
I am funny. Bob, I am funny.
Yeah, we did do some things to try to be funny also, but also we wanted to kind of like fit the structure, but we also wanted to be funny as well.
Yeah.
Which is kind of why we also like had me dancing. Forward,
angry dancing.
Yeah, angry dancing.
Right. Really mad.
Yeah. We can, I don't know, for most of the shots that we did, we were like thinking to ourselves, okay, physically, we want this shot to really look like it could be the same forwards and backwards. Like Isaac is coming out of the hallway and like in the bedroom in a way that could work both ways is kind of what we were thinking, right? Mm-hmm. He's sort of, I can't exactly recreate it on camera, but he's kind of like doing this sort of motion where he's kind of like backing out.
We actually had a lot of
and then kind of doing the same thing backwards, right? But the dance itself, I mean, it's kind of a thing that we did away forwards and backwards, but it's a little sillier because I literally walked backwards second time around. Yeah, and the way we did that is through much grit and anger. Through much fury.
Yeah.
I don't know.
At first Julian was just like, he did like a little improvised thing.
Yeah.
And then afterwards I talked to him about it. I told him, well, are we going to go one way and then the other way? And then he was just like, no, anything with that. And he was like, I don't want to do it. And then we spent a long time working on that. It probably took the most time.
Yeah, I don't know.
Just working on that and getting that kind of work.
We had totally committed to the idea that everything would be kind of filmed like forwards and then also kind of done again forwards so that it could be reversed and have slightly different things while also being very similar.
Mm-hmm.
But for the one thing there, I was thinking to myself, well, I'm dancing. Isn't that hard enough? I was like, what are you doing to me? Yeah, but then normally whenever we do this like filming, we have like the AC off, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like wearing an AC. I'm like, okay, no spoilers, but let's say that by the time I'm dancing, I'm pretty warmly dressed.
Yeah. That's right, pretty warmly dressed.
By the time I'm dancing for 45 minutes, we finally get one take that's right by the end.
I'm also pretty warmly dressed, but I don't know if what I'm wearing is more warm or less warm, about the same.
Yeah, you can tell us below in the comments after you watch it.
Yeah, you can tell us after you watch it what you think is the most warm outfit.
Yeah, go watch it and let us know.
Whoopsie, Isaac from the future again. They actually already gave away that outfit information before. That's right!
Yeah, but whenever Julian was doing his dancing, I was kind of like in front of him with our camera. And I was like, we were like trying to move with the beat.
Yeah.
So we were like going down the hallway, and we were trying to like keep the certain amount of beats, keep the amount of beats the same both ways.
Yeah.
And so we were like going down the hallway and then back up the hallway.
Yeah.
After we did that, like right as we ended the dance at the end, we had to go back up again.
Yeah. Initially, the dance was a little more complicated, but because I wanted to do the same forwards and backwards, I was like, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, and a frowny face.
I'm sorry to be really angry. It's got to be an angry dance.
It's gotta be the angry dance.
You have to be upset for what happened in the story.
I mean, I'm angry
All the time.
I mean, come on. You woke me up. You woke me up. You say sorry, Ross, but you're waking me up.
Ruining your day.
Ruining my day.
I'm just trying to live my life.
And you're
ruining it by waking me up.
I am funny, Maya. You know.
Yeah. I was just going to kind of go back to the hallway thing.
Yeah.
Because we actually were having some trouble getting me to go up and down the thing. Or go out of the hallway. Or go out of that room, I mean. Because it was really hard to do it in a way that kind of looked more or less like something that would just kind of happen normally.
Yeah.
So we had to, because we were trying to kind of have it from like in the hallway, out the hallway. It was kind of strange because I was trying to like walk forwards and then backwards. But that's like seems kind of weird.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, dancing backwards is not so weird. Well, going like just kind of like entering in and out, like going out the hallway for some reason, it seemed kind of strange. It was like, wait, why is he spinning around like that? You know, why is he all this? But then, but for some reason, started doing it in the hallway that way, and then doing the little spin there seemed to kind of be okay.
Yeah.
It seemed to kind of work a little better for us,
Right.
I think.
We were kind of like playing around with the idea of doing the shots sort of from within the room, but I thought to myself that might be a little easier to do from the hallway, and it seems to have worked out that way. You know, we did try a couple times with Isaac in there, and, like backing out, like and like walking away. It was like, how? What? I don't know. It's like a little strange.
Right.
Yeah. Doesn't look quite naturalistic enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I also want to like talk a little bit about how Isaac came in pretty hot with the Say Snow's yell.
Right. That was something. Well, the thing was, we were like working a lot on like making our sketch and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was just like, there was like I was wanting to try to make a really long phrase that was kind of weird, but also would like be a phonetic palindrome. And so the phrase I came up with was because I was trying to piece together other people's phonetic palindromes. Basically, what they do.
Yeah. Frankenstein.
So I think it was Say Snooze, y'all. Let Master of Time tell lies once. Yes. I think is what it was.
Yeah. And then basically,
and then that became a thing where it was like, okay, now that we've got it, we need to find a way to make it work with the story. So what we did was we were like, okay, it could be like I'm trying to get Joel. I could be like Ross. Sorry, it's like Maya is trying to get Ross to say this phrase.
Yeah.
It's kind of the idea.
Yeah.
But then Bob doesn't want. No, not Bob. No. Ross doesn't want to do it.
Yeah.
So he just kind of never really satisfies that.
Slow it down, Isaac. Slow it down. Ross and Maya are good friends until they aren't.
Yeah.
Just like us.
Beep beep boop.
Beep beep boop.
Beep beep boop boop. Yeah. So yeah, it became like the phrase where like all the anger and just the hatred was around. Like in the end, like say yes, Bob. Bob, say yes.
Bob, say yes, Bob. Bob, say yes.
Say yes, Bob. And you're like,
I am funny.
you're like, I don't know. You can't remember.
I had like there was like one time where I had a reaction face and it wasn't something I was saying. I was just like,
yeah,
something like that.
yeah, something perfect.
Something like that.
The perfect reaction face.
I think there was kind of two things like that.
Yeah.
Which I think was I think it was also one of those that was kind of like around the pivot point.
Yeah.
Of the story. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then I guess also something. I think the idea was the whole time was to have like I think the initial idea actually was that the story was going to be like the same forwards and backwards because of how like the story was done.
Yeah.
And that's the way.
Right.
But because of it actually ended up working out even better than I think we were initially thinking because whenever you take something and you have it and then you reverse it and then you have it next to it. And that suddenly means that it's both the same way if you play the whole video that you make after that, forwards and backwards, it's literally the same video.
Yeah.
And so it actually ended up working out even better than I think we were initially thinking.
Yeah.
Because now it's even more true, I guess.
Especially because of the fact that some of the scenes are kind of off a little bit.
Right. There's some small discrepancies.
Yeah, there's some small discrepancies.
As far as like the story without like the whole reversing part happening.
Yeah.
Because technically, well, I guess technically speaking, I guess what I'm trying to say is,
well, whenever I was doing it, I was trying to make it all very exact. Whenever I was doing it, you was making it almost exact.
I thought we had agreed on that. Apparently, there was a discussion that apparently for some reason there was a misunderstanding.
Yeah.
And there were some slight discrepancies whenever I was editing. They were not the same whenever Jordan was doing it.
I feel like it turned out all right in the end, but
Yeah, I thought it was close enough. And
Close.
I think maybe it was.
It's like the changes are probably pretty
Technically speaking, whenever you reverse the whole video, it's still technically the same.
Yeah.
So,
Which is also something that kind of was initially actually I was really envisioning this whole thing kind of being like, all right, start with the basic credit. Start with the what's the term? Like the reverse call to action, the reverse
credits?
subscription.
Oh, the,
And I was thinking we like and start with that, and also kind of in the middle have that happen again,
Right.
and then happen again after that. But in the end, we kind of like decided not to do that just because it'd be kind of interrupting, but also because the fact that we did it the way we did. It actually happens so that it is the same forwards and backwards as a result of the fact that it's at the beginning and the end.
right.
And not in the middle.
And that was the one time, actually in the whole video, that was the one instance where we did something where I think we did something that was different than the other things, because it wasn't a phonetic palindrome. You know, it wasn't like a phonetic reversal or something like that. It was, it wasn't something that made sense one way or the other way. It was something that was explicitly supposed to not make sense one way, and it made sense the other way.
That's right.
Because we had us say something, and then we had it in reverse in the beginning.
Yeah.
And then at the end, we were like, suddenly now everything is going to make sense, and it's going to be like, suddenly we're just kind of asking people to subscribe and like, and etc.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Because before it's like, just kind of like, blah, 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 blah,
Blah, blah, blah, blah,
etc. You know?
blah, blah, blah.
Blah, 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 blah.
Please subscribe.
Blah, 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 blah.
Please. We need your money. It's like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything else we need to talk about with that particular thing?
Well, maybe talk a little bit about. Well, in the other video that we kind of did, breaking it down, we talked a little about how you can like change the operations, and we also kind of talked about the word of it there. But basically, like say yes, Bob, and Bob say yes, kind of reversing the operation. So if you guys want to mess around with things like that, it might be kind of like a fun thing to do with something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's also words and phrases that we did. Not all of them are phonetic reversals. Some are just phonetic. Not all are phonetic palindromes.
Yeah.
But some are phonetic reversals instead, which are words that sound one way.
Right.
They sound the other way the other way.
Yeah.
They sound like that we wanted to do to make things a bit different.
Yeah. And I'm trying to think of a good example there. There definitely were some in there.
I think.
Oh, I remember now. It was I am funny, and it became enough Maya.
Yeah, that's one.
That's one of those.
Yeah. And another one is I guess you. Because we say die.
It was like we say die, but the other way it had to be kind of said a little differently than just normal. But it's supposed to be I guess you, but it's like a little bit of like a EI'd. Kind of like EI guess you.
Yeah.
EI guess you.
Just some finagleization to make it work. Some funny finagling. To fix the functional issues. Like, okay, you know how it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know how it be.
Yeah, baby.
You guys know. You know.
Yeah. You know how it be.
You know. You know.
So just learn, do the thing where the things make things happen, and do that. You know, boppity boo.
You know. The boppity boo. The boppity boo.
The boppity boo. Speaking of the boppity boo, the last video. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. That's not right.
What does that have to do with the boppity boo?
Man. Okay, so I'm just transitioning.
Oh.
Segue.
Well, we're not good at that.
Yeah, not yet. We'll get better. We'll just talk about something else entirely different for a little bit first.
Mm-hmm.
Man. So, initially, I think for congratulations, you just found the secret message.
Yeah.
We didn't, I think, initially plan on having it being 2 separate videos.
Yeah, I think the idea was actually just that it's going to be congratulations, you found the secret message.
Yeah.
But I think it's kind of actually more explicitly inspired by the Pink Floyd phrase.
Yeah.
Even though it's not exactly the same one.
That's right.
Because it's like, the idea is you found the secret message and congratulations, etc., etc.
Yeah.
But, then we're going to be doing that. And then I think for some reason Julian was like, he wants it to be, should we even reveal what it is now? You know what I mean? Are we going to be talking about what the secret message is?
We won't tell you guys that because we guys want you to see that later on. But more or less, it just became a thing where like a question where we have like things happening forwards. We have a video forwards, and basically Isaac is doing the message, kind of in a reverse speech kind of way. I don't really know how else to describe it. It's not exactly because the thing is like words aren't one to one. Basically, he's just making little sounds that seem kind of like.
What we were trying to do was I think the idea was that you're supposed to be able to kind of reverse it in the video itself, and get the secret message.
That's right.
So we were trying to find out how you say things whenever it's not reversed to sound like the reverse of what the words are actually going to sound like.
Yeah.
So that way, whenever it's reversed, you hear the actual words of the message instead of the reversed sounding words.
Yeah.
So I was like, which I think is similar to what they do in the. I think it's similar to what they did in Twin Peaks. I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's right. I think so. I'm pretty sure that's right.
But yeah, and then so that became stuff like air keys. It was like secret.
He's a Steeler Star knock.
Oh, I gave away something, but it's fine because it's not necessary. It's okay.
Okay, yeah.
It's okay.
It would be a trade secret, but it's not because it's a secret message.
But I feel like that part is not like necessarily we're giving away everything.
Yeah,
because there are like other bits of it that are than just that.
That's right.
They're not gonna give away everything, just that one thing. just the one.
Yeah.
I swear my life on it.
Yeah.
And if I mess up another one of these, I'll be dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Out of business.
The way that we kind of did this one was we had Isaac say the words the right way forwards.
Yeah.
The first time.
All right.
And then we played it in reverse, and then we sat down and we were like, okay, what does this kind of sound like? And we sort of like wrote down the phonemes, I guess. If you check out the closed captions.
It took us a long time for some of the words to get them right. Because at first it was like, it seemed like something else was happening, and then something else actually was the case at the end that worked a little bit better. But yeah, because sometimes when you say words, they sound a little different than, they don't always sound the same, but they sound like kind of like the same word close enough for some people.
Right.
So sometimes whenever you reverse it, it's kind of like it has different effects as far as ways you could do it and have a close enough kind of sounding word.
Right.
But also sometimes the way you form it or something, it might not be close enough or whatever. Yeah. When you actually tried to say something, so there were problems like that, I think. And also I think the first time we did it was a little fast, so it's harder to tell kind of what was happening.
Yeah.
So I was trying to slow things down a bit more for some things that we're having more trouble finding out.
The actual video ended up being much more segmented as well.
Yeah, that's
one
true.
word at a time.
That's true. That actually, it kind of ended up being kind of funny because then you kind of like see Julian like freaking out about what's happening.
That's right. Because we also wanted to tie in a little bit with something to make it a little more humorous, Yeah. And my part was sort of inspired a bit by Julian Smith, I would say.
The thing was, I remember like it's kind of like funny because we were like working on the words, and then I think we were like talking about it, and I told Julian, I think we were talking about like when we would want to film it, and I was like, no, I think we probably should do it today because I don't want to mess this up later.
He literally just worked it on, and it was like, okay, here we go, let's go.
So we were like, we gotta just go ahead and try this out now. Yeah. And I actually remember sitting down and being like, wait, I don't know what's happening. I just know I'm saying this phrase, and that's all I know. I think I'm wearing a suit. I think I'm wearing like a robe or something. Yeah. That's all I knew. And then like, wait, I don't know what's happening. That's all you know. As far as the whole sketch. And Jared had like explained it to me because I think he...
I had like a Chiro can in front of him. Just sitting there.
Like, well, I don't understand what's happening, Joy. What's going on?
I mean, I knew what was happening, but I wanted Isaac to focus on his thing. So, you know, we do his thing first. Yeah. And then you handed my thing after that. Right. Yeah. From Isaac did the filming, but I was thinking to myself, all right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to be kind of like funny, kind of British-ish. Britishly-ish. Ish.
Like he was saying, it was kind of a little bit inspired by, I guess the Julian Smith Kool-Aid video.
So, yeah, I think so.
I think it's the first. I think one of the earlier videos where it's about the Kool-Aid.
I mean, I don't really know for certain, but I feel like the Kool-Aid video looks a little like muted and blue, so we went with that kind of a coloration on this video as well.
Sure.
I mean, except for a couple of shots whenever Isaac's doing his thing and I'm like, you know, doing my thing.
We also live in a place that's kind of a little bit muted and blue.
Yeah, that's right. It's a little blue.
Well. As far as like the house, I mean.
Yeah.
Being inside.
Too blue. Too blue. We also did the sort of music actually inspired also by a different Julian Smith video.
That's right. That's true.
Something about Santa.
That's right.
Yeah.
Man, I don't really remember what the video was called, but
there's this organ drone going on.
yeah, and it's like this guy's getting kind of hunted down by a little. Is it Elf on the Shelf or the little Santa toy?
It's like a little Santa. I
think it's a little Santa toy.
Maybe I thought it was like a little Santa toy person.
I think it's right. And there's like this part where I think this moment's kind of happening, and like the organ music kind of happens.
That's right.
And it's like. So that was.
And just like.
Yeah, it's kind of like a dramatic moment. So I think Joe was just like going to be like trying that out. That's kind of basically what we did, more or less. In a way.
But I want my figure to be a little sillier, I think.
Yeah,
a little more overacted in Julian Smith's version of that.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right.
And this music was.
Now, the guys out there, if you guys didn't think that you would react to it the same way, he's literally talking to me backwards, and there's like music and shit, so like there's lightning and stuff. So that freak out was natural, I think. This is like the worst thing to happen in the world.
It's very normal to. I mean, I don't know if what you would do if someone started doing that to you, but you might be like, dude, you basically would do. I think you would do worse than Joy.
I literally
probably figured out more than Joy does.
Imagine it. You gave your brother some fried Cheerios, and you're like, "Do you like it, brother?" And they just start talking in reverse nonsense.
I remember like sitting there like filming it, and I was sitting there filming it, and now I know what's gonna happen, and then Joe was like, "Fried Cheerios, brother, your favorite." Your favorite. And I was just like, I was like having trouble not like laughing too loudly while filming.
That's right.
Fried Cheerios.
You like it, brother?
Yeah. I think if I remember right, wasn't this music something that was done? Didn't you record it or make it?
Oh yeah, we did make it.
We had to. I don't remember who played it. I think Joe played it.
Yeah, I think
you had to take it. You had to get the keyboard out to record it.
Yeah.
So I will say that in the and sometimes we do, like I was saying, sometimes we make our own music in our videos, but for the video, which is this the same forward. This video is the same forward and backward. That one was something where we just used stock video stock music.
Yeah.
Because that was stuff we liked, and we thought we could kind of get it, and it wasn't like a thing where. I mean, we do oftentimes make music, but like we also do sometimes use like things that we find online as well.
Yeah.
And that was one of those instances.
Yeah. Indeed.
I don't know. I'm trying to remember like why. I think that actually thinking back to that, I'm trying to kind of like remember because I feel like Julian had always had the idea that he wanted to dance in the videos for some reason, but I don't really remember when I first started.
I don't know. I just thought it'd be funny.
Yeah.
Especially because of the reverse and forwards thing.
Yeah.
I had to make it work.
That's one of the reasons why I got that music.
Yeah. It was a hard labor, and I hated every second of it, but I did it to myself. No, I'd have to be like, we'd be like, oh, that's pretty close. I'm like, no, not close enough. Again. One more time. Again. No! Start the music off. Okay. I was winning because I'm looking at it.
I know shit.
I'd be like back in the bedroom, like waiting. Let's go. I'd be like ready to go. Isaac would be like just getting there with the camera.
Yeah. Yeah, and then we. So yeah, but I think that we had like the kind of the intense music, we had the dancing music, and then we had like the kind of more kind of like the more soft kind of. So I think some vibraphone music. Mm-hmm. And which kind of ended up being all those things kind of had interesting effects when you can hear them in reverse as well.
Yeah,
which is what we did in that particular video.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything else we need to be like saying about that video or the or any of those reverse videos we have had where we have something being sung and having something where the words get reversed or more recent ones?
I don't know.
Well, if these sound fun, go look at them. Go look at them. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm trying to say that. I promise.
If you guys did any cool stuff with it, we're curious about it. Let us know. We might be interested in watching it. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is what we're doing right now, but our channel does many more things. So if you like this a lot, you're going to be very disappointed. You're going to be very disappointed.
Yeah.
This may be the end of it. No.
There was a video cut between these things where we had like we hit this kind of like sort of like well-known theme thing.
Yep.
And I don't think it did too well.
Yeah, it didn't do too well.
I guess for us, as far as like our videos go, not our shorts. Our shorts usually get a lot more views, but actually some of our shorts do pretty bad too. But you know, they more often get higher numbers of views. But I don't think it necessarily is like the same. I don't know. Like I feel like if you don't get like a lot of short views, you're probably not doing so great versus the kind of the shorts.
Yeah.
And so sometimes I kind of think, well, we might be doing a similar amount of views actually.
Yeah.
But with the shorts, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Whereas like not very many.
Yeah.
But you get sometimes get subs and stuff.
Yeah.
Sorry. And then for our video views, I think the forward reverse one was our this video is the same forward and backward.
Right.
Is our most viewed one?
That's right. Mm-hmm.
But I'm trying to think of what it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I really don't remember. Mm-hmm. So if any of that sounds fun to you, you can go look at them.
If you're a bigger channel than us and you want to collab, let us know. We need the subs and the money.
Wait, I missed the first thing you said. I heard the thing about collabing and money.
I said if you're a bigger channel.
Bigger
Smaller channels here.
You're a bigger channel.
We need your money and your collab.
Yeah.
Give it to us.
I feel like for some people they might be like, well, you know about big channels who honestly want to collab. I have no idea how to collab with a big channel like that. I was gonna make a joke about a certain channel that was nearby us.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I feel like people might have an idea, but I'm not gonna say it now. Based on our videos where we talked about where we live.
Mm-hmm.
Now everyone knows that.
Yeah.
Everyone's forgotten where we live.
That's right. Everyone's forgot. That's right. We have never talked about this. There's no way for people to actually know.
Yeah.
I guess I'm fine with saying that.
Sure.
We live in the same town as Mr. Beast, I think.
We think so. The thing is we've actually never seen him.
Yeah, we've never seen him in person.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Mm-hmm.
I actually think I didn't really. I feel like the first time I think I didn't really know about Mr. Reese much at all until we started becoming YouTubers.
Yeah.
After that point,
Mm-hmm.
and then we started kind of hearing about him a lot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Because some people were like referring to him being like, "Oh, look at this guy! He's got the things."
Yeah. Before that point, I was just. I think mainly what I had heard about him being was like. I think I just seen him do a few Let's Plays with some people who I had also watched Let's Plays. I wasn't like watching his Let's Plays.
Sure.
But I think maybe he was just kind of there.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
But at the time, I didn't really have any idea who he was. I was like, okay, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Some guy I don't know. Whatever.
Some guy.
But I
It
think
didn't matter.
yeah, right. But then like later on, we were like, time to make YouTube videos, and suddenly it's like, oh, do you guys know this big channel like in the town that you live in?
Maybe you should do what Mr. Beast does.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It's like I feel like I've never. It's kind of like weird because like supposedly he's around here, but I feel like I've never ever seen the guy.
Yeah.
And you might have seen. We may have seen him, but he might be. I don't know. It's funny because I feel like I have an idea what he looks like, but I feel like I've never ever seen like a Mr. Beast event going on. I never like seen Mr. Beast burger. I've never seen an ad for Mr. Beast anything.
That's right.
Aside from on YouTube.
That's right.
I've never seen Mr. Beast walking around with a car or whatever.
That's right.
Or
Whatever.
I've never seen Mr. Beast around. But he's. I mean, I guess it's possible to have like a big enough town that you just don't see anybody.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe he just sustains himself on his burgers.
His burgers.
Isn't there a leave?
He never needs to leave now.
Yep.
That's right.
The burger.
He lives out Mr. Beast burger. I think. I mean, I might be wrong, but I thought there was one in Greenville because I think Mom said something about that.
I feel like that sounds like right. But
I feel like I've never actually seen it or actually been like super aware of it being anywhere near here.
Yeah.
I think I've seen videos of like something like that be happening like in LA or Los Angeles.
Right.
Or maybe other places, but yeah, not necessarily here.
Mm.
It would make sense they'd be here somewhere. I don't know.
That's right.
Maybe he's on the other side of town.
Maybe he's on the other side of town.
I don't know.
On the other side of town.
Yeah. I mean, like I know like he has been around things that I've been around because he's been like in like videos. I think he was doing like some sort of ad for like some sort of course using East Carolina University.
Yeah.
And that's the university we were for undergrad.
Yeah.
So it's definitely the case that he's probably the place we've been.
That's right.
But maybe just not at the same time.
Yeah. Hmm. And remember, guys, The Antichrist
Right.
does not. He shaves his face.
No, he doesn't.
Antichrist have beards.
You heard it here.
The Antichrist, yes, you heard it here.
He admitted it.
Antichrist have
He
beards.
admitted it.
The Antichrist will have
admitted
beards.
his sins against humanity.
Antichrist will have beards.
The Antichrist has admitted it. In front of all of the people
I was-
watching our live stream, every single person in America has seen it. Every person on the planet Earth now knows.
No.
Because everyone's watching.
I mean, I guess everyone's watching it, but
Everyone
would
knows.
the Antichrist really make a blunder like that? No.
This is the many views we're going to be getting. Everyone's going to know.
Don't, if I was the Antichrist, would I really made that mistake? I don't think so. We all know the Antichrist is pretty smart, right?
You'd like for us to think that, wouldn't you?
He's very good at not drawing attention to himself.
Or would he be very smart about making him seem dumb?
I guess it's the same thing, more or less. Please subscribe.
Please
Please comment.
Please comment.
Please like.
Please share.
Share it if you like. If people you want with the thing.
Thank you to you coming to either episode 3 or 4
We'll
or
find out
5
later.
of NHIGh-cast.
Yeah.
It's probably one of those.
Probably 5.
It might be one of those.
Or why not 7? Or even 10?
You know, well, thanks for coming to this episode of the NHIGh-cast.
That's right.
Thank you,
Thank you for being here.
persons, for watching our
Thank you
show.
for tuning in and taking the time and hanging out. Hanging out. Hopefully you learned something and had some fun, maybe? I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. I guess.
Well, we're not destructible, so you're probably not crashing your car.
Yeah, probably, yeah. We haven't reached that level yet.
Yeah. We're not that interesting.
Well, is it better that we are not that interesting or worse?
I think it's better for humanity, but worse for our our livelihoods, maybe.
Well, it's not the Antichrist. I'm pretty sure that I think it's probably better that we are not killing people with our fantastic podcast.
Something the Antichrist would say.
No, it doesn't. I know, because I said it.
Something the smart Antichrist would say to make people think it's not him.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like we know from his tacit. I'll take his silence as agreement. All right. Thanks for me. Go, motherfucker, go!
Yay, motherfucker!
It's right there.
Welcome back to the NHIGh-cast, episode 4, y'all.
I'd kill it's real, nobody got nothing on how I feel to have my hands on the wheel. I can't help but test my car's dress, I live a life by gasoline, but I digress. It's Monday, gotta get dressed, and I gotta live my life with a stress.